Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check. Podium. Mic check. Ohio clock corridor. Podium.
Test 2 3 4 5 6 9 10. Test of the Ohio clock. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 10. Test test test. Hopefully the last one of the year. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 10. Cool. The test here, the Ohio clock. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 10. Test test test. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 10. Test test test. You good? Cool.
But yes, I'm here. Yeah, but if we're here, yeah, yes, but if we're here, Hill, they can obviously be in. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. See. You. Thanks. See. You. Catching the bus. Catching the bus after this. Is that what that's? Oh yeah. Thanks, Chad. So, I mean, 21. Somebody said 21. In the package. That's why I was asking you to see if there was a was trying to see, when you saw my early draft, it might change a lot if you listen to Ohio Clock and Jeffrey speaks in 3 years. I mean, I guess what I'm interested in, I need a year's time to transition to actually accomplish things big picture, and then I say, you know, what about conservatives who say they want no extension whatsoever? It's anathema to them, and then come back with his answer, if the, you know, however short that is. You know, Philip and I retire a degree, but you know, but that's not political reality right now. Something like that. That's how I would try to see how you can see what you can do, how long that makes. I might not even do that in the fall. You know, I kind of tried to put some bones down. What I wrote. Okay, thank you. part about either memory. You got me? No. I hear you. Does he realistically think?
Didn't say about that it has to be nice.
No, I mean, well, that's why they talk about yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
This is about
And you won't be Jefferson thing?
let's see. I think this is one where
Okay.
there's something that this says that you don't say that.
Sure. Well,
That was my original plan. Something
yeah, that makes sense.
I listened back to it. Mel was giving me advice. I
You need to cool it without flash. Practically crazy.
check though. Also, Trish just told me he was that extra.
Your MiFi, is that what you're connecting with? I'm trying to connect with the phone and with this, and I can't get any. It's all day long. There's something going on. Yeah, it's not. It's really unusual for me to have trouble like this.
Well, Trish just went down and checked. So, anyway, Gene Simmons, Lauren's like, oh, she's like 23. We're just gonna do it anyway.
I have a really fun one.
Please. Thanks, honey. Appreciate it. Sometimes I get a little tiny. Could you give me a zip? Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I'm like,
highest snap.
That's mine. That's mine. Right there.
Good, how you doing, man? Looked like you just came off vacation. Totally mistaken, aren't you? Let's go, man. You? Getting there. Can't wait for the holidays. Watch out for that guy on your right. That reporter there typing on his phone. Very suspicious.
Very dangerous.
Oh, is that live?
Yeah, what's going on right now?
I wish. Quite dangerous. You know, I need humor around this time of year, you know.
It's too cold to be holding your
This is
car.
not cold. I was just in Scandinavia. It was like minus 30.
You didn't get up to Greenland again, did you?
No, I was in a different place. I can't say it out loud where I was, but just say I was close to the Russian border. If not on it. No, that's not on the border. There's a 22-mile thing of water in between.
Dude, it freezes like this time of year.
What's Danny doing in the house?
You know, when the president was complimenting that audio engineer with the beard, that wasn't you. Who was that? March was in that role, right? Oh, am I a radio person? NBC? Mr. Simmons, can you come over to the microphone, please? Mr. Simmons, can you come over here? Turn left. Mr. Simmons,
You want to come
come speak at the microphone. Come speak at the mic. No, this is live across the country. That would have been human bullfight. Stand here, stay right there.
We all want to get in on the Hovind press conference, but
We were wanting Gene Simmons here a minute ago.
is he here?
Just a couple of minutes ago, you missed him.
The heck! All right, that's my
You're
part of
gonna
my
vote on the Gene Simmons plan?
part of my misspent youth. Yeah, listening to Kiss. Well, good afternoon. As you all know, we're going to have a vote this week on Thursday on a Democrat proposal to deal with the Biden COVID bonuses. And this is a vote, as you all know, we could have had weeks ago. It's been on offer now before we had to go through a 43-day government shutdown. But that's what the Democrats opted to do. And so at the end of the 43 days now, we're going to have a vote on their proposal, which, as it turns out, is really a proposal that just extends the status quo. Doesn't do anything to reform these Biden COVID bonuses in a way that would get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think the one thing that's clear about this, and I think you all who follow this subject know this, that the way that the program is structured, the money goes straight to the insurance companies. And the way that we think this ought to work is you ought to come up with a way in which you can deliver the benefit to the patients and not to the insurance companies, and that you shouldn't have hardworking Americans subsidizing affluent people, people who make a lot of money. And that's what their proposal continues to do. There is no income limit. There are $0 premiums. There are millions of Americans who don't even know they have coverage. And they have decided not to do anything. Zero reforms to this program. And so the bill that they're going to put on the floor will fail. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a path forward here. We also will have a vote. Our members have decided that we're going to vote on a Crapo-Cassidy proposal, which does the things that I mentioned. It actually does make health insurance premiums more affordable. It drives down, according to the Congressional Budget Office, premiums by double-digit levels. It delivers the benefit directly to the patient, not to the insurance company, and it does it in a way that actually saves money. So to the taxpayer. That is a win-win proposal. So that is an alternative that we will put forward and that we will have a vote on Thursday. And we'll see where the Democrats come down on that. But the fact of the matter is that as long as we have been talking about this subject, and again, they drug us through a 43-day government shutdown in order to do this. Just in the last week, the Government Accountability Office came out with a finding in an audit that they did. There were 19 fraudulent claims made to this program, or 20 I should say, 19 got through. In other words, 95% error rate. When I say waste, fraud, and abuse, I am not kidding. That is the finding as recently as this last week by the Government Accountability Office. This program desperately needs to be reformed. The Democrats have decided we're not going to do anything to reform it, and so we'll see where the votes are on Thursday. But we will have an alternative that we will put up that reflects the views of the Republicans here in the United States Senate about how to make health insurance more affordable in this country, how to ensure that it's not the insurance companies that are getting enriched, that it's actually benefiting the patient, and how to make sure that this is a good deal for the American taxpayer. John Brasso.
So this week we are going to vote on a Democrat proposal to send $83 billion directly from the federal treasury to the bank accounts of insurance companies. And that is going to cause the cost of health care in this country to continue to go up. I'm a doctor, practiced medicine in Wyoming for 24 years. People need the care that they need from a doctor that they choose at a price they can afford. And that all went away with Obamacare. I remember President Obama saying, oh, if you pass this, your premiums will go down by $2,500 a family a year. Instead, premiums doubled. So what happened? Well, the Democrats wanted to hide these premium increases, so they said, we better send a lot of money directly to the insurance companies. Don't let the people see it. Send it right to the insurance companies. The insurance companies loved it. Premiums went up 221%. And the stock of the insurance companies went up 500% to 1,000%. That's what happened with Obamacare. And now at this point, over 90% of premiums are subsidized by the federal government. Obamacare was always pricey. It was never affordable. And then during COVID, people saw this and said, well, Democrats said, this is bad. Its prices keep going up. What do we do? They said, we need to put new subsidies on top of the old subsidies, and that is the Biden COVID bonus subsidies. Those are the ones that are expiring at the end of this week. What happened? Well, the Democrats chose that date for expiration, but they also removed any income limits. You can make $1 million a year, and you're still getting all the subsidies from the federal government paid in your name directly from the government to the insurance companies. And now they want to send another $83 billion. That's going to be the vote this Thursday. They're not going to pay any attention to the reforms that are needed because of the waste, the fraud, the abuse, and the corruption. And in just today's Washington Post, the editorial in today's Washington Post, Obamacare subsidies make it too easy to scam the system. That's what's happening. This system is full of waste, fraud, and abuse because they make it too easy to scam the system. Well, I oppose sending these payments directly from the federal government to the insurance companies. They shouldn't be rewarded for what they have done. Money should go directly to patients so they can make their own decisions. And that'll drive down costs, make insurance companies compete to the people that are actually paying the bills, the taxpayers. Make them offer things that those patients want to have insurance, not held hostage in the straitjacket of the one-size-fits-all that is Obamacare that is hurting our country today.
Leader Thune, good afternoon. Can you speak to, for a moment to the political concerns of vulnerable Republicans if Obamacare, health care, these subsidies aren't addressed in some form going into 2026?
Well,
the president's talking about affordability. The president's talking about affordability. What happens to your side if you don't address this?
Well, and so are we, and which is why the proposal we will put out there will actually drive premiums down. And that is in stark contrast to, as Senator Barrasso just pointed out, a program that since its inception has increased costs, premiums in the individual marketplace 221%. That is triple the CPI and double what the rates have increased in the group market, the employer market, where a lot of people, about 150 million Americans, get their insurance. This is a failed program, and it does nothing but drive premiums up. And the increase in premiums, who's that going to? That's going to the insurance companies. So the proposal we'll put out there will bring insurance premiums down. It will be fiscally responsible, and it'll get us away from the practice of giving the money all to the insurance companies and put it back in the hands of the patients. So there will be something out there that Republicans will be able to talk about and support and vote for, and then we'll see. I mean, what happens on Thursday? Maybe there's some wise Democrats who will decide to vote for a proposal like that. But if there aren't, if neither proposal gets 60, then we'll see where it goes from there. But I do know that we want this issue, affordability, to be front and center. And the way to do that is not to extend for 3 years at a cost of $83 billion to the taxpayers a program that continues to drive insurance costs, premiums higher and higher for the American people.
On these Venezuelan boat strikes, a number of your members this morning said they would support releasing the video of that September 2nd strike publicly. Would you personally support that?
Well, I'm happy with what they are doing. I think they are, the relevant committees, as I've said before, the Armed Services Committee, both Democrats and Republicans have had an opportunity to view that video. How they decide to proceed with it, I'll leave to their, to their discretion. But I think anybody who probably wants to, any member who wants to see that, I suspect probably would have that opportunity if they choose to.
Given the uncertainty of the tariffs with the Supreme Court decision potentially overturning them, does it make sense for the president to turn to those tariffs, that tariff revenue, to pay for farm aid, and tariff revenue goes into the federal treasury? Isn't it the Congress's power to spend that tariff revenue as it sees fit?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who've been following farm policy for a long time, which I have, I've been through 4 farm bills. The one we're working on right now that got derailed, but we got a lot of it included in the reconciliation bill last summer, would have been my 5th. And throughout the years, there have been attempts, and obviously this is the most recent one, to deal with tremendous losses that are being experienced in the agricultural marketplace, in this case because of a loss of markets. And that is related to some of the trade issues that we're dealing with. The president's obviously trying to get the attention of the Chinese, get us into a better place in terms of reciprocity with them. But in the meantime, it has an impact on the markets that a lot of our agricultural producers have access to. So to me, it makes all the sense in the world that if you've got a lot of revenue coming in from tariffs, and you need sort of a bridge for farmers. A lot of the changes that we made in last summer in the reconciliation bill don't take effect until next year, and the farmers, the safety net programs, will benefit from those. In the meantime, to have something that helps them bridge that time when they've had this loss of markets and are experiencing historically low commodity prices and historically high input prices. The margins in agriculture are gone. And I say that for corn and soybeans, other commodities, but those 2 in particular are where we've seen a real impact. And I think the administration's trying to respond to that and ensure that the farmers get to a time where we have that market is opening up again, China's opening up again. So hopefully this will be a bridge to the future. But I think what the administration did in terms of using tariff revenue to do that makes sense.
Just on the Venezuela boat strike again, I know you say that all your members have access to that video, but they're coming out with a dramatically different interpretation of that video. Isn't that one of the reasons for the administration to be transparent and release the video for all Americans to see?
Well, look, I think, again, I think that the relevant committees here on Capitol Hill, that has been made available to them. And I'm going to leave it up to them to decide who has access to it. But as I said before, I think any member of Congress And certainly people are going to come up with different interpretations because we live in a political environment. And, but I suspect that anybody who has seen it knows pretty clearly what the facts are. And I'll leave it at that. I think that the relevant committees will make decisions about who has access to it.
Back on healthcare, does Cassidy Crapo have unanimous support in your conference? And some of your members have also put forth temporary 2-year extensions of the ACA with changes with HIDE language with other reforms. Might those come to a vote as well?
Well, we have other members, as you point out, who have their own proposals, and they, you know, you have to ask them how they want to have those dealt with. But I suspect you may see others advanced, other ideas advanced, and whether or not those get voted on, I think, is going to be probably up to some of our colleagues who are offering those proposals. What I can tell you is, as a conference, our members, and I can't say 100%, but I think for the most part, I would argue are united behind the Crapo-Cassidy proposal, which, as I said, in terms of its emphasis, is about patients, not insurance companies, and about lowering premiums, not increasing them, and about getting a better return for the federal taxpayer. Thank you all.
Hello?
If your Bosy Bubba was hanging out that sign on the door that says that, I would accept it.
No, but what about, was it answers or what, speaking, or which section? You know, which section? Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, because there were two things. Let me guess, he's looking for Gene Simmons. We thought you were looking for Gene Simmons. He was just here a minute ago.
I missed him at the Kennedy Center. Okay, I want to thank Senators Wyden, Ossoff, and also Brooks for being here. Now, today, Trump will travel to Pennsylvania to pretend he's lowering costs for Americans and to try to convince the American people he's lowering their costs. But Americans can see their bills. They have to pay them every week. And they know he's the one driving these costs up. Trump, this isn't a messaging problem. It's a kitchen table reality. And the American people are feeling the pain that Trump caused. His tariffs have jacked up the price of everything from groceries to clothing to energy and so much more. His trade war hammered farmers so badly, he's now using $12 billion in taxpayer money to clean up the disaster he created. And there aren't enough speeches in the world to paper over the fact that Trump has sent costs up, not down, and the American people know it. But it's not too late. Republicans have one chance left to do something meaningful to lower costs, and that chance is simple. Work with Democrats to extend the ACA premium tax credits before they expire. Democrats have put forward the cleanest, fastest, most realistic solution, a 3-year extension of the current tax credits. No gimmicks, no poison pills. We'll move to vote on Thursday. Republicans have had all year to avoid this premium crisis. They ignored every warning. Every Democrat is united behind this fix. Republicans can't support anything that would bring meaningful relief to American people. Republicans are the reason we're now staring down a health care emergency. The choice is simple for them. Vote with Democrats to keep costs down, or vote to send premiums through the roof. And make no mistake, our proposal is the only realistic path left to prevent premiums from going up. First, it's a clean, straight extension of current law. Second, it directly tackles the premium spike. And third, every Democrat supports it, so it can pass the minute Republicans stop blocking it. On the Republican side, their story is very different. Their phony proposal is dead on arrival. One of the possibility they're considering, the Crapo-Cassidy bill, would not extend the ACA tax credits for a single day. That's what's driving the price up, and they're doing nothing about it. The bill not only fails to extend the tax credits, it increases costs, adds tons of new abortion restrictions for women, expands junk fees, and permanently funds cost-sharing reductions. Their bill is junk insurance. It's been repudiated in the past. The American people will repudiate it once again because it is junk insurance that puts the burden on people. We should call it what it is: misdirection, smoke and mirrors, a cover-up, blocking the ACA tax credits that keep health care costs down. Our bill keeps premiums down. Their chaos sends premiums up. Republicans have 48 hours to choose. Join Democrats and stop the spike, or stick millions of Americans with higher costs. This is their last chance before January 1st, when the American people have to pay these bills. Now, finally, this afternoon, Secretaries Hegseth and Rubio and top officials will brief the Gang of Eight, and I'll be there. I plan to confront Secretary Hegseth on exactly what the hell is going on in the Caribbean. I plan to demand Secretary Hegseth give the total, unedited videos of what happened in the September 2nd boat strikes. Trump originally agreed to do this, but now they're afraid. What's Hegseth hiding? And second, I will demand of Rubio and Hegseth what the hell is going on in the Caribbean and in Venezuela. What are their plans? How far do they plan to go? Trump has already talked about Venezuela waters and even going attacking Venezuela on land. How far do they intend to go? And when Trump says these crazy things, does he really mean them? And will he drag America into an endless war? It's about getting truth for the American people. The American people are entitled to see the unedited videos. Last week, Trump said he'd have no problem releasing the videos. Then yesterday, he walked back his statement, claiming he said it was fake news. You know, this guy's amazing. He said it. It's on the air. Millions saw it. And now he says it's fake news, even though he said it. It means he's a fake. Let's be clear. The only way to bring clarity is to release the full unedited tapes. That's why the NDA included a provision requiring the Pentagon to hand the tapes over. If they don't, Pete Hegseth's travel budget gets slashed 25%. And this proposal had the support of Democrats and Republicans, including Wicker, including Republicans in the House and Senate. It shows you that both parties are united that these videos ought to be released so the American people can see them. Congress is united in demanding transparency. I strongly support this provision, fought to keep it in the bill. Trump, Hegseth, Rubio must do the right thing. And they all must release the tapes and tell the American people the truth the people deserve to hear. Senator Wyden.
Thank you, Leader. So, unless the Senate and the House act this week, in a few days, millions of Americans are going to face a god-awful choice. Do they pay thousands more to keep my health care, or do I take the risk of going without? Democrats have offered a simple solution. Let's extend the tax credits without making changes at the 11th hour. After that, let's see where we can work together to make the health care system better. Late last night, Republicans in the Senate revealed their alternative. Increase insurance premiums by thousands of dollars and deductibles by thousands more, and give people a snake oil alternative, a savings account. And they don't even do anything about criminal penalties for fraudsters the way we do. I'm going to use two examples to illustrate how disconnected the Republican plan is from the reality that Americans face. First, imagine a woman nearing Medicare age who's battling breast cancer. She's going to have another round of chemo in January, so she needs to sign up by next week. Crumbs in a savings account are not going to do much for her. Maybe she'll find out as we go that we have a better alternative. We're also going to imagine a young couple planning to start a family next year. Giving birth costs thousands and thousands of dollars, and they want to be prepared with the right insurance plan. Looking at the current premiums for a plan that covers their hospital stay isn't going to do much for them. These are two examples of the kitchen table conversations that are happening right now as Americans sign up for insurance. The Republicans offer crumbs in terms of insurance company profiteering and snake oil. To make matters worse, their proposal is riddled with ideological trophies like anti-abortion language. It shows that once again, Republicans weren't interested in compromise. Later this week, Americans will have the opportunity to see whose side senators are on.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. It might be helpful just to take this conversation out of Washington and invite you down to Georgia, where I'm hearing from constituents every day what this is going to mean for them right now. I heard just a few days ago from one of my constituents, a single mother with 4 children who gets her insurance through the Affordable Care Act exchange. And her medication costs $20,000 per dose. She needs 4 doses per year. Her premiums are about to go up by 500%. I heard from another constituent a few days ago, a woman in her early 60s who waits tables for a living, who's fighting breast cancer. She needs chemo monthly. Her premiums are now going to be $500 per month. She can't afford it. She's going to have to give up her insurance in the middle of chemotherapy while she's fighting breast cancer. What are people supposed to do when they lose health insurance in the middle of a cancer battle? What are parents supposed to do who already can't make ends meet, who are going to see their premiums go up 500% when they need life-saving medicine that without insurance costs $80,000 per year? So in this building, maybe it's about the politics, but in the real world and in Georgia, this is life or death. 500,000 Georgians are projected to lose their insurance altogether. Millions more will see huge increases in their health insurance premiums. My constituents cannot afford this. Some of my constituents cannot survive this. And so I'm calling on our Republican colleagues to put politics aside. It is almost Christmas. It's almost the holiday season. We should let our care and concern and goodwill for our constituents motivate us and guide us in these next few days. There's an opportunity on Thursday to come together and prove to the American people that no matter how divided we seem, we can unite to prevent these catastrophic increases in health insurance premiums. Thank you all.
So as a part of the ongoing Jedi mind trick from this president, he this week made the absolutely incredible statement that the affordability crisis that Americans are feeling at their tables every single day is a part of a Democratic hoax. I can tell you what the true hoax is. It's a scam, and it's a hoax. You don't have to tell Americans about a hoax. The ones who recognize that they cannot afford their utility bills, the same ones who this Christmas season and holiday season are shopping and they experience for themselves how unaffordable it's becoming in this country. The same ones who are now sitting at their kitchen tables, people like my aging parents, both of whom are dealing with life-threatening illnesses, who look at their Medicare and look at all of their premiums and recognize the escalating cost of health care in this country. And so the Jedi mind trick that continues to want Americans to believe that somehow affordability is not an issue is really, it's really, really sad. But this week, we have a chance to provide relief from the looming health care crisis that's threatening millions of American families. Now, let's be clear. This could have been resolved months ago, but Republicans refuse to do so. Americans are already struggling under the weight of increased cost of living, and everything is more expensive, especially in this holiday season. And this health care crisis is only making things worse. Democrats know this because we've been listening to what Americans have been saying to us. We know the strain that this is putting on families, and we've been fighting to lower health care costs. But we've come up against a roadblock. These Republicans who are in control, and they've stopped us at every single turn. For months, we've been asking our Republican colleagues to work with us on extending these Affordable Care Act tax credits. And this is something, to be clear, that absolutely should not be controversial. For many people, this is absolutely a matter of life and death. We should be doing what we can to make life easier on the people that we're here in Washington to represent. But Republicans just don't get it. They're out of touch. Can you imagine sitting at your kitchen table holding a notice from your insurer that tells you that your health care premium is about to be tripled, only to hear that this administration and Republicans who are in control of the government think that you're stressed out about a hoax? If Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress spent more time with the people that they are supposed to be representing instead of the billionaires that they have worked all year long to repurpose our government to be able to afford their tax cuts, the billionaires that they continue to cater to, they would know that affordability is not a con job. This is a real crisis, and it's one that Republicans have needlessly created. They have a job to do, but instead of working with us, they've spent months complaining about the Affordable Care Act, and because they don't get it, and guess what? They never have. For the last 15 years, they've taken every opportunity to criticize the Affordable Care Act and to talk about what they would do instead if they were in control. Well, the time is here, but their plan is not here. They have no plan, and they haven't put forth an alternative yet. That leads us to conclude that they do not have a plan. And if you look at the way that they've handled everything from health care to the economy and how they've made everything less affordable, it's not clear that they ever will. Even if they were capable of putting together a plan, it's becoming clear that Republicans just don't care. They're choosing to ignore the voices of the American people who are struggling to afford absolutely everything. Again, from food to housing to health care to goods to utilities. But the truth is that the people are not their concern. This isn't something that I say lightly, but we know that actions speak louder than words, and the Republicans' lack of action is deafening. It says they don't care, and they don't care enough to even do their jobs. Since they don't care enough to put together a plan, we've done the work and offered them a simple one. Extend the ACA tax credits for 3 years. That way, premiums don't skyrocket and overburden families across this nation. And while the extension is in place, well then let's work together to make health care more affordable and more accessible. This is the Republicans' latest chance to speak with their actions and show who they stand with. But no matter what they decide, we know where we stand. We are on the side of the American people. We're going to fight to lower costs and to make life better for families. And we're going to keep sharing our vision for a more affordable America.
Thank you, Senator. Also, Brooks. Okay, we're ready for questions. Yes.
On this briefing that you're about to have with the national security leaders, how concerned are you about the possibility of a ground war in Venezuela, and what will you press the Secretary of Defense and others on in terms of what rationale they would have to take that step?
First, we're very concerned. You've heard Trump's musings, ministrations, contradictions on what he would do, and he's the president, and they all listen to him. So we are very, very concerned. To go into war, land war, in Venezuela is an act of war. That is Congress's right. And Senator Kaine and myself and 2 others, Schiff and Rand Paul, have the War Powers Act ready to be introduced on the floor of the Senate. We hope Republicans will join us in that vote.
Leader Schumer.
Yes.
Last week, you told us that one of the reasons that there hadn't been meaningful negotiations is because Republicans hadn't put out their proposal. Now that that's out, do you see any path forward to find something in between these 2 proposals, or is it one or the other?
Their plan is a non-starter. They even know it themselves. They're so struggling that they couldn't come up with a real plan, that instead of the total embarrassment of having no plan, they have the total embarrassment of having a plan that's been rejected over and over again, that doesn't lower health care costs, that doesn't extend the ACA 1 day, which is what the American people are asking for, and has all these poison pill riders, such as abortion, which they know are killer amendments.
So is there any path to negotiation?
Next.
I was just going to ask you
Look,
about
negotiations, we're always willing to sit down and negotiate with someone who would lower costs. Their bill was absolutely not lower costs. It would raise costs for the American people. Yes.
I was just going to ask you about the Hyde language and stricter abortion limitations that Republicans are demanding as a price for any kind of ACA funding extension. Is it off the table for you? Does that mean there will be no extension?
Yes, off the table. They know it damn well, but because they can't come up with any real solution, and they're so, afraid of the Susan B. Anthony League, they put this non-starter language in. It shows they don't care about reducing health care costs. They care more about taking abortion away from the women of America than they care about reducing health care costs. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Mr. Ronald Wyden, D. Oregon, would like to say a few words.
I just want to make mention of how they've handled this. They said their #1 priority at the outset of these negotiations was fighting fraud. We went out and put together legislation, black letter text, that said that there would be criminal penalties for fraudsters, but they totally ignored it. So they have never been serious. And if you're serious about health care, you've got to want to have criminal penalties for fighting fraud, and they ignored it.
Mr. Leader.
Okay.
Mr. Leader.
Last question.
You called the Republican plan a non-starter. They said the same thing about your plan. Doesn't that mean that these tax credits are almost certain to expire at the end of the year?
Yeah, and the burden is on 13 Republicans to vote with us. Ours is the only plan. Their plan would allow the tax credits to expire, in your own words. Our plan would stop them from expiring. That's why it's supported overwhelmingly by the American people. Just remember, 55% of Trump voters, according to the data, support our plan. Thank you.
Why not a 1 year extension?